I'm Cape Joel, and this is Comic Smack, your weekly, daily, all the time, anytime comic show where I give you your fix of everything you need to know from the world of comic books and superheroes. And on today's show, we're taking a closer look at Green Arrow issue number 6. The fates have conspired against Oliver Queen, who finds himself once again washed up on a mysterious island. What happens next? I don't know. Let's hop on in together and find out, shall we? Hey, so remember a few seconds ago when I said this comic was going to deal with Oliver Queen and a mysterious island? Yeah, scratch that. Apparently this 6th issue had different ideas because we pick up with Emiko not long after the destruction of the Inferno in the previous issue. Shadow, Emiko's mother, refuses to let her go, even though it's clear that the young hero is pledging loyalty to her brother Green Arrow. We also find out here that Shadow was playing something of a double agent role for the Ninth Circle. She was always working for the Yakuza, and now they're returning to Japan so she can meet with the Oyabun, whose name is quite literally Oyabun. For those of you who know your Yakuza lore, Oyabun means father, and it's essentially the Don of the Japanese mafia. From there, we're treated to a flashback of Emiko when she first moved to Seattle with her brother. This is really good because there's a lot of time missing in between Emiko leaving Komodo and the Outsiders and joining her brother. Much like another young DC hero, Damian Wayne, Emiko was raised as an assassin for most of her life. She had a very unorthodox upbringing, and because of that, she finds it hard to relate to normal people. What's interesting though is that when they were out of costume, Ollie and Emiko would butt heads, with GA attempting to push a more tough love style of parenting, but when they were in costume fighting crime, the two were completely and utterly simpatico. One of Oliver's demands that rubbed his sister the wrong way is that she attend a fancy prep school. Emiko isn't at the school for longer than 5 minutes, and she's already trying to break a conspiracy involving a bunch of strange watches that a bunch of the high-achieving students are wearing. At first I thought, oh, is this some sort of crazy skull and bones secret school society thing that Emiko has fallen on? No, actually. It seems that the kids were given the watches by none other than the Clock King, but not any of the Clock Kings that we've seen so far in continuity. Keep in mind, we saw an older version of Clock King in the newest issue of Destro. Then there was Billy Talkman, a new African-American gangsta version of the Clock King, who we met in the previous Jeff Lemire run. This is yet another African-American Clock King we're dealing with here, but he's not the same one because Emiko had met that other guy but is treating it like she's meeting this guy for the first time. Also, he has a clock tattoo over his eye where the other Billy Talkman didn't. Seriously, most people would consider Clock King to be a lame villain, and yet there's been 5 different versions of Clock King in a very short amount of time. I do, however, have to go out of my way to salute Benjamin Percy for having Green Arrow actually fight some Green Arrow villains for a change. What we find out is that these skull watches are actually a sort of manufactured adrenaline that allow the overachieving kids to, well, overachieve. The only problem is that when you run out of time, you crash completely. It's like you're detoxing and you gotta pay the Clock King for more time. Emiko ends up getting embroiled in this with a watch of her own, and she ends up keeping it from Green Arrow. Granted, that's the past. In the present, Emiko manages to give her mother Shadow the slip and tries to hunt down the Oyabun on her own. To do this, she infiltrates an underground fight club where she enters as a contestant and fights her way all to the top. Unfortunately for her, as the comic ends, she ends up getting outed as an American superhero and the guards come for her. So one of the things I've really noticed about DC Rebirth so far is that the 6 issues are kind of like standalone buffer issues where you kind of get to catch your breath, and I like that. Green Arrow number 6 was especially cool because the writer got a chance to actually flesh out the character of Emiko, a character who showed up to great fanfare, then was written out, then was written back in again, and who here definitely feels a lot more human. Again, as I mentioned previously, it's very easy to draw a lot of comparisons between Emiko and Damian Wayne. What I like about this issue though is that Benjamin Percy goes out of his way to show that the relationship Ollie has with his sister is a lot different than what Batman has with his estranged son. She feels a lot more human, a lot more down to earth, and a lot more relatable, even if she is sometimes equally as hot-headed as we see at the end of this issue. Overall, I enjoyed this one a whole lot. I would give it an 8 out of 10. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching my newest video. I hope you enjoyed it, and while you're here, why not check out another video I have on offer, or maybe if you're feeling in a supportive mood, you want to like or subscribe. And if you want to support the creation of more videos just like this one, then please by all means check out the Cape Joel Patreon. A little bit goes a very long way, and I will see you all next time.